thanks. Translating. Translating. Copy.
Point of view from NASA astronaut Jessica Meir's helmet camera as she continues to wrap up that mid-strut with MLI, or multi-layer insulation, to protect it from the thermal extremes of space as well as any micrometeoroid. And again, she will be working from She is currently working on the right mid-strut. And then we'll also be able to wrap up that left mid-strut as well. And then both her and NASA astronaut Anil Menon will move into the International Space Station rollout solar array cable routing. And that is what we have seen images of Anil Menon holding in his hands, that cable bundle. So as soon as Jessica completes this task, that'll be up next for today's spacewalk, as we are now 4 hours and 35 minutes into US Spacewalk 96. And currently Menon, alongside with Meir and their additional 5 crewmates of Expedition 75, are orbiting over the northern portions of Quebec, Canada, at 262 miles above Earth.
Hallelujah. Just made it.
And again, another great view from the helmet cam of NASA astronaut Jessica Meir. And she mentioned it earlier, just moments ago, about having a great view looking down the solar arrays towards Earth, as her and NASA astronaut Anil Menon continuing to work the multi-layer insulation wrap around the mid-struts. Meir is currently working on the right side mid-strut, and Menon, just across her field of view, is working on the left-hand side, together in tandem, to cover up that mid-strut and protect it before eventually moving into the rollout solar array cable routing that will be needed once those solar arrays arrive on station. Those will arrive as a part of NASA's SpaceX 35th Commercial Resupply Services mission later this year. It'll be a 2-pack of sorts of the solar arrays. That'll be the 7th and 8th collection. The 7th one will be a part of the 2A power channel. And that EVA most recently was completed back on March 18th, 2026. That was US Spacewalk 94 EVA, extravehicular activity. That was done by Jessica Meir and Chris Williams, completing the work of Nicole Ayers and Ann McLean, who started that modification build for that 2A channel back in May of 2025. But today, these two going the distance from start to finish of the full build out of the structure, 6 total struts and the mounting bracket. They are covering up the collars and insulation for extra security, and we'll prepare again for those IROSA cable routings here momentarily.
About now. They still fold outwards. They're not rolling around. I almost feel like I could just cruise over there and collapse them after this, or if you can roll around the corner, you can see it a little bit better. It's kind of...
I'm not sure if this part was supposed to be under. There we go. Getting closer. Okay, are you stationary right now? I'm going to release my DRT so I can move around a little and try to see those.
I am stationary.
I'm translating.
You're translating.
For EV1 and EV2, we are turning your HECAs off from the ground to manage temperatures. We will turn them back on when needed for the HECA scans upcoming.
EV1. All right, what do you think now, Anil?
I think it's fantastic.
Okay. Stephanie, my MLI is complete. I've squished it down in all the areas. I can't see any metal showing, and Anil evaluated from his side that there are no gaps.
And we copy. Right side MLI complete. Nice work. We'll have Anil to continue the left side, and then we'll do the HECA scans.
I'm going to translate. Is that okay?
Go ahead. I'll remain still.
Okay.
Communications with Stephanie Wilson, spacewalk communicator, up to the crew of NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon during today's spacewalk, that they have turned off their helmet cameras to monitor temperatures. Meanwhile, Jessica replied down that she has completed her MLI multi-layer insulation security around the right mid strut of today's 3B modification kit against the 3B canister that is going to support the structure that will ultimately hold the 3B IROSA on the mounting bracket. And for Anil Menon, he has since translated. He has gone a little out of view, most likely down to the bottom right-hand side. You can see some commotion, but he is wrapping up the insulation, the multi-layer insulation of the left side strut.
Give me one rotation, and then it's all you.
Okay.
It'll take 5 seconds.
All right, no worries. I just see one more strap to tighten on the further end away from me. I'll do that. I can also do that later.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
And Jessica, you might be working on this, but before we lost the HECA view, we saw some blousing on the MLI around the collar bolts. So if you're able to, we'd like you to squish that down.
Exactly what I'm working on right now.
Excellent.
Approaching 4 hours and 45 minutes into today's US Spacewalk 96. as NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon continue to wrap up the multi-layer insulation of the right and left mid-struts. Meir has recently completed the right-hand side, and Menon is also operating and securing the left-hand side. We've temporarily lost communications and video from the International Space Station, but that is to be expected with the communications handover between satellites. So we bring you back inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room as Momentum Flight Team, led by Flight Director Ronak Dave, overseeing today's EVA activities. He is being joined on the Flight Director console by Chris Dobbins, who will be up next for the next spacewalk for NASA, and that'll be US Spacewalk 97 for Thursday, August 13th, and that is where Dobbins will oversee 2 astronauts replacing a communication antenna on the International Space Station called the Space to Ground Antenna, or you'll hear the term SGANT, Space to Ground Antenna, a little smushing of the two. And that is a critical communication system of the space station used by NASA to transmit data, and the antenna enables high-speed communications between Mission Control Center in Houston and the orbiting laboratory.
The one in your hand right now is the one going towards me. Okay. And then there's one that is...
This one right here? Oh.
That's not the tab. It's very close to your index finger on your right hand. So there you go. You got it.
Okay.
Just pull that one down.
This way?
Yes, that way.
Okay.
Now the other one, unfortunately, is kind of underneath there, so you might have to get it out first.
Fish it out?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I...
But if you squish, with the one that you have right now, if you squish, you might be able to close that gap. That tie that I can see is right there by your... That's it. You see it?
Yeah. Which way does it go?
I think it goes toward you. But that part on top still needs to squish together.
Okay.
So if you can get it, right there lower, that will work.
Okay. Like that?
Yep. Doing that, you expose a little bit just distal. You see there's another strap that's on my side.
Okay.
Pull that down.
This one?
Yeah, and I think before you do that,
Yeah.
see those flaps? I think they were the same ones I had. They're sticking up on the other side.
Uh-huh.
I think those are supposed to go, no, other direction.
Oh.
On the other side, not towards the mounting bracket, towards the mass canister.
Okay. I see.
There's 2 flaps, and I think they're supposed to go underneath that piece with the tie.
This piece with the tie?
That's the piece with the tie.
Okay.
And just towards the mass canister from there, if you can fold those.
These 2?
Yes.
Okay, and they go under here.
I think so. And the other one, too. If you get the other one, it'll close that gap. It's right underneath your right hand.
I see it.
That's it.
Great directions. Okay.
There you go. Now if you wrap that around, I think you'll be closed. That's a good squish there. Now if you can get that tie that's going across the top toward you.
This one?
Yep. Pull that toward you. The other direction. Across the top toward your mini workstation.
Okay, like that?
Yep. If you can just do a squish with the corner that's all the way on my side, so the edge, basically the very edges at the end, if you can squish those in, then I think you're good.
Right here?
Yep. Perfect.
Okay. How's that look?
Looks pretty good.
All right.
Yeah. I can see a tiny little gap between those 2 folds. If you can do one more squish, I think you'll get it with your other hand.
Okay, moving the other hand in place.
Bring your other hand on the top part there and squish it down.
Like that?
Yeah.
This is like blind MLI.
I know.
I think the NDL training should be with just the blindfold.
Yeah.
Okay. How's that looking?
It looks pretty good, but you're spinning around, so watch your back.
Okay.
So spin back towards the mass canister with your legs, because your stress is right next to that, the part that sticks out is all those connectors.
I'm going to rotate this way. Is that okay?
Which way?
Seat towards inboard.
A-firm.
Like this.
A-firm.
Okay. I'm tracking my tether either. Do you see it?
Tether is under move your left foot back. And now it's between your legs. You lift your right foot up and put it behind. There you go. You got it.
Okay. All right. I think we're good.
I think we're good too. Stephanie, I think we're ready for the HECA scan.
And actually, nice work, both of you, on the MLI. From here, we would like each of you to work to route the cables on each of your sides, and then we'll come back and get the full HECA scans.
Copy. So it looks like you did this first one, Anil?
Yeah. There's a chance that the next tie, you might have to take out 2 ties. I study it super hard, but it almost looked like the next tie you need is buried.
I see that. Shouldn't be. I think it's just the way the wire tie is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're good.
Okay. Good.
So this is not in the right config. Let's see.
Dual camera views from NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon. Meir on the left-hand side, just outside of the right, mid, and lower strut, working alongside in tandem with Menon on the right-hand side of your screen, and he is working on the left side of the 3B modification kit that has since been constructed by the 2 NASA astronauts. They have the cabling that they are currently routing through, and this cabling will support the connection of a future IROSA, or International Space Station Rollout Solar Array, that will help provide additional power to support critical station operations. We are 4 hours and 50 minutes into today's spacewalk, US EVA 96, the 6th of the career of Jessica Meir. And again, her view on the left-hand side, and the first spacewalk for NASA astronaut Anil Menon. And you can see his point of view on the right.
I'm translating Anil.
Okay, I'll stay still. Tell me when I'm go to move.
I'm going to be in position here working on this wire tie so you can translate as needed.
Okay, I'm translating.
Let me know when I can translate.
Almost there. Go ahead and translate.
To confirm, because I don't remember the other cables looking exactly like this last time. So I have one last loop here, and it reaches to the large handrail, and right in front of that handrail are the 2 sets of connectors, both mated. So there's 2 sets of connectors with the tabs, the wing tabs, both mated together, correct?
Yeah. But I prefer the ground.
Copy, Jessica. That's a good config.
Okay, copy. I'm going to grab another wire tie and I'll get it on the long handrail. I think this one will work with a short wire tie. I'm going to use a short one if that's okay, Stephanie.
Short is good. Either short or long will work.
Approaching 4 hours and 55 minutes into today's spacewalk, as NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon continuing to route IROSA cabling in and around the 3B canister, around mass canister, that will support the power connections for a future installation of an IROSA, or International Space Station Rollout Solar Array. Jessica Meir can be seen on the left-hand side with those red stripes around her knee as EV1 and current commander of the International Space Station, currently operating in her 6th spacewalk of her NASA career. As for Anil Menon on the right-hand side, it is his very first spacewalk after just arriving on not all that long ago, a little more than 20 days ago, after launching back on July 14th from the Baikonur Cosmodrome as a part of his Soyuz MS-29 team. And as for Jessica Meir, she would arrive to station after launching on February 13th as a part of NASA's SpaceX's Crew 12 mission. And as mentioned, the current International Space Station commander, this is her 3rd spacewalk of her current mission, and again, 6th of her overall career.
Okay, that wire tie is in place on the long handrail.
Copy, right side. Cable installed on the long handrail.
Would you like to do the HECO scan, Stephanie?
Checking. Jessica, Hector's on for the scan. As much as possible, verify for the right and the left MLI that everything is closed, snug to the struts, no visible metal through the MLI, and that the mounting bracket upper surface is clear.
Okay, I'm starting on the mass canister side. Hopefully you have a good view. I'm looking directly at the cable, moving around a little bit. I can see it on the long handrail. See good MLI on the side pad. See good MLI all the way up. I don't see any gaps or any metal.
That's NASA astronaut Jessica Meir providing an update on her current status of the IROSA cable routing, as well as the multi-layer insulation that is currently securing around the right mid-strut of today's build-out of the 3B mass canister modification kit.
See that the mounting bracket is clear. Coming back again with the long handrail to give you a view all the way down it. And I can see Nil's side. I see it all covered up. The tiny little gap on the mounting, kind of between the mounting bracket and the mass canister at the distal end, opposite of the bolt side, but I don't see any metal.
Copy all. Checking.
We have now hit the 5-hour mark of today's spacewalk, US Spacewalk 96, with NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon. That is Meir on your left from our vantage point, upside down, with Menon also to her right,
Jessica, thanks for the scan
as the two
and for the
continue to work
word.
through the IROSA
Once,
cable routing
Nil's
on the
complete
3B
cable
mast
routing,
canister.
doing a nice job. And
Together,
these,
over these past 5 hours, these two have built an entire modification structure to add onto that 3B modification canister.
Get eyes on the last bit that you mentioned that has some blousing, and we'll try to cinch that down. Meanwhile, I can take a glove, hat, and gauntlet check from you.
It's a good plan. My hat is dry. The glove. Still nominal. Gauntlets are down.
Nominal gloves, dry hat, gauntlets down, 1 minute to a handover.
As we follow along with today's spacewalk, there you can see off into the distance NASA SpaceX's Crew 12 Dragon spacecraft that is just off to the side, as again NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon working on the very edge of the starboard side of the International Space Station, and a great view looking upward into space along the solar array panels, as the two astronauts have constructed a modification kit that includes 6 struts and 1 mounting bracket to support the future installation of an International Space Station rollout solar array.
On the
And we welcome you back inside the Space Station flight control room here in Mission Control Houston, as we are experiencing a handover in communication satellites, and we'll bring you back those views from the International Space Station and the cameras on the exterior or the orbiting lab, as well as the helmet cams from each astronaut. Flight Director Ronak Dave overseeing today's Momentum flight team, alongside with Stephanie Wilson to his right, the spacewalk communicator. And Aki Hoshide, today's Capcom, communicating with the other 5 members of the Expedition 75 crew, including NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway, ESA astronaut Sophie Adno, and Roscosmos cosmonauts Andrei Fedyaev, Pyotr Dubrov, and Anna Kikina.
With 3 twists.
Confirmed.
While we wait for KU for Anil's HECA scan, Jessica, we would like you to cinch down the 2 adjustables that are on the mounting bracket side that are on the scoop holding the cable. We'd like you to take out the slack.
Copy.
Translating, I'll hold.
Copy.
And this will help keep the cables from hitting the keel pin and staying outside of the rotation envelope. Anil, we're ready for your HECA scan. Similar report as Jessica. Verify in the view, and per your words, MLI closed, snug into the struts, no metal visible through the MLI mounting bracket, upper surface clear from your side.
Firm on all. MLI is snug. I don't see any metal visible. Would you like me to translate down and the HECA across?
Both of those adjustables are fully tightened.
Copy, 2 adjustables tightened. And yes, if you could translate down as well.
I'll stop moving.
Are you doing a fluid translate?
Go to translate.
Translating.
No, that gap is closed now that I saw.
Good. I'll take a look at your side just to be sure.
One thing you can do actually, see that the part that's just for the mounting bracket from the bolt, if you could push it up the other side, opposite side, the bolt side.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, I see this.
Yes.
It needs to tuck or something, doesn't it?
That's closing it right now. Move your hand for a second. Completely closed right now. I would leave it like that.
Okay. Okay.
Mine look closed from your side as well?
Does. Yeah.
Great.
Using copies of the report and the scans for the HECA for the MLI on both sides, we are doing a quick double check, and then we will send Jessica off to start working on the strut bag.
To translate the other direction.
I'm off of the strut. Oh, I see. You're just planning ahead. I see.
Yeah, all right. Well, I wanted to see if I could translate on the strut now, and I can, because you're off it.
We are happy with the config. As a final step, we'll have EV2 double check the MLI near the center pad, and we'll have EV1 start towards the bag cleanup.
See it works.
Gonna go double check. Like when I translated over it, I could have unbunched some of it.
Coming up on 5 minutes and 5 hours and 10 minutes into today's US EVA 96 as NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon receiving instructions for their next tasks. As Anil Menon, labeled EV2, will continue to inspect some of the MLI, the multi-layer installation surrounding the struts, and namely the center pad of the 3B modification kit that has been installed by the two astronauts here today. And then for EV1, which is Jessica Meir, she has been assigned to begin the strut bag and cable bag cleanup, as the two have had quite the eventful day today, taking a modification kit that consisted of 6 struts and a center mounting bracket, building together an upper triangle and then attaching that triangle to the 3B mass canister, and then helping with additional security to a mid strut and lower strut, both on the right and left sides. They would also secure a collar on either side of the mid strut, left and right, and together the two of them would also make sure the MLI, again, multi-layer insulation, would properly wrap all of that hardware that has just recently been added on to that 3B mass canister.
For EV2 MLI check, we'd like you to double check the center pad attached to the mass canister area.
As Anil Menon is checking that MLI on that center pad, as we see from his helmet camera, we also see the cabling that both he and Jessica Meir would route through this modification kit in preparation for the arrival and eventual installation of an International Space Station rollout solar array that'll provide additional power to support critical space station operations.
I'm over here at the strap bag. So, Stephanie, do I ever go to try to start packing it?
Checking.
We'll take the HECA inventory and then we go to pack.
And yes, Jessica will take the HECA scan as the inventory, and then you can begin folding.
In work. I need to read it to you. It might be easier than the scan given my body orientation right now.
Checking. We would like to see the APFR tools. So HECA would be great if you can give it to us.
Okay. I can see the APFR collar wrench. There's only one that we had in here. The other APFR tool was in the cable bag. There it is, right in front of my HECA right now. The APFR wrench, not the collar wrench. Sorry, the collar wrench is in the cable bag, and the wrench is right here on a with an adjustable. Other than that, I see two small reps on hook 11. I see a large, small connected to a small on hook hotel, and I see two large smalls on hook golf, and I see two large smalls on foxtrot.
Jessica, thank you for the report. That is a good inventory. You can start closing up the bag.
And are you able to see from the HECA there, the mass canister?
And it will take a verbal.
It is well covered. You can take some photos too.
Anil, thanks for the report. No photos needed. That's a verbal report. That's good. We are ready for you to translate to your green hook to retrieve it from handrail 2026 and then
Go on the green.
en route to the cable bag.
All right, moving to the green hook.
Yes, and sorry, it's a handrail 2029. When convenient, I'll take a glove, hap, and gauntlet check from you.
Look good, nominal. Map is dry. Now let's slow down. Hey,
Copy
Jessica,
now.
how do you want me to navigate this? I should actually go this way, right?
Yeah, you should go toward the way that your green hook is, the other side. Unless you're coming to this side to help, but I think I'm going to be able to do it per the plan.
Okay.
Five hours and 16 minutes into today's spacewalk, US Spacewalk 96 with NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon. And you just heard communications between those two and the ground here at Mission Control Houston. And NASA's Johnson Space Center is the two working together to start the cleanup process, if you will, of their work site as they have built out a modification kit to the 3B mass canister. A collection of 6 struts, a lower, mid, and upper strut for both the left and right sides, all to support what is going to be an IROSA mounting bracket that will hold an International Space Station rollout solar array. And now that solar array will be installed on a future EVA and will be flown up to the International Space Station along with another pair of solar arrays. Another set of solar arrays for the 2A power channel. So today completes the modification kit necessities for the International Space Station. And the only ones needing that modification with a solar array will be the 2A power channel, which was completed back on March 18th by Jessica Meir alongside NASA astronaut Chris Williams. And then with Meir, you see on your screen right there with the red stripes around her spacesuit, she and now Anil Menon working together to work out this modification kit.
It looks nominal. It is just going to your right side. It's in front of you.
Great.
Super 1 Alpha, obvious, just on the way back. Correct. We didn't really do it.
As you can see on your screen, both Anil, Menon, and Jessica Meir working through the cleanup process as they are working to stow the strut bag that carried out the 6 struts and IROSA mounting bracket to today's work site. They brought them out with them when they departed the Quest airlock and officially began their spacewalk today at 7:33 a.m. Central Time, 8:33 a.m. Eastern Time. And now 5 hours and 18 minutes into today's spacewalk, that cleanup process has begun. That strut bag, which carried struts 8 feet long and a full mass of 330 pounds out to the work site, is going to feel a little bit later as they clean up, as those 6 struts and mounting brackets have been installed. The multi-layer insulation wrapping up the hardware to protect it from the harsh conditions of space, and then securing all bolts and tethers as necessary in the process. And the two now again continuing that cleanup with the strut bag, and they will add it to the cable bag that was also brought out for today's hardware.
On my mini workstation, so I'm going to release the left side so that I can fold that in.
Houston copies.
Green hooks up.
Copy EV2, green hookup.
The bag is somewhat folded, definitely not as beautiful as it was inside, but I'm going to translate over towards the cable bag and see if we can stuff it in like this.
Okay, and I can assist.
Yeah, I think given the timing, that would be perfect. Ground agrees.
We concur with the plan.
No.
Side down. Just be real directive, and I'll try to keep the bag where you need it.
Okay, I think actually, can you pass me the ret?
There's a ret.
There's a ret right here. It looks like I can take this one.
Okay.
And before placing the strut bag into the cable bag, we'd like to verify in the cable bag PGT, torque wrench, wire tie caddy.
Can verify PGT, torque wrench. I got eyes on the wire tie caddy.
Excellent, thank you. Proceed.
All right, and now here's what I think we should do. I have the strut bag is now ready to the cable bag.
Okay.
So I think if you can reach over with your left hand, and stand by 1 second, I'm going to get the hook off me. Okay. Reach over with your left hand, grab it, that edge, right down here. Yep, pull that over to you. That's the bottom.
Okay.
Stand by. Can you try to smush it down?
Okay.
I have a hand on this side. think we're in there if we can get the lid over.
This side is popping out a little bit. I think I can fix that. Give me a few seconds.
Oh, okay, now my side's out.
Okay.
Can you see, I'll hold this edge. Can you see this stuff up here? Can you tuck that down?
Down. Try.
I got this side. Can we get the lid over? Keep a hand on it.
I'm going to double pinch the tree area, and I'm going for the lid.
Got a hand on it, and I've got a hand underneath the bag.
Okay.
I'm not going to let go because it'll pop out if I do.
Okay, that's good. I'm going to try to close the B side without popping it out.
Five hours and 25 minutes now into today's spacewalk as NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon placing the strut bag inside of the cable bag as a part of today's cleanup activities after constructing a modification kit to the 3B canister, mass canister on the far starboard side of the International Space Station today, and that canister, or that modification kit supporting the IROSA mounting bracket.
Very close. You can just keep this.
I got the Velcro down on this side.
Nice job. Okay. You can try to fix this side.
Can you get the front Velcro first? That might help. Wait, hold on, stand by. The hooks have popped out on your side of the two hooks.
The two hooks.
Right here.
I say we just lock them on to the outside.
Okay, that's fine. They're up. Yep. We also have these wire ties that has a whiff on it that we could use. I'll pull the lid down. There's a torque wrench is popping out above your right hand.
I see it. Okay. Let's get these hooks down. Hooks down. Now, the more you can find some extra.
So actually, look, I think we might be able to get this Velcro if you move that hook.
Okay.
Can you pull that tab or pull here? Squeeze the tab.
The limit, I need an assist of somehow.
What if you take the wire tie that's right in front of me and loop it through the tab?
Okay, I'll do that. Great idea.
Continuing to follow along with today's spacewalk, US Spacewalk 96, as NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon continuing to work through their cleanup tasks as they have taken the strut bag that carried out 6 struts and 1 mounting base, 8 foot long, weighing 330 pounds, out to the 3B mast canister to construct a modification kit.
Can you get that other Velcro? No?
No, because pushing, I think let's get this first.
Okay. What can I do?
Rotate it.
It's pulled way too far over here, I think, for you to reach it now.
Okay.
The loop itself.
Yeah.
If you, what if you got that way part of the tab? Yep, exactly what I was going to say. That will keep it closed. Remember, we have the strap that goes over the top.
Wait, can you just keep it stable for 1 sec?
Okay.
Then I can finish this and then...
Got it.
EV1 and EV2, nice work working with this bag. We realize it's a lot of work. We'd like EV2 to pause for CO2 data.
Okay, pausing. Jessica, you can finish that, I think.
Yeah, I think it's done. Can't reach it right now with your head there, but
I mean, it's one twist.
Yep.
I think it'll stay. Just put one more twist, Stephanie. There we go. All right, pausing.
The only concern is just to look at it, if the torque wrench could come out. Are you there?
I am there. I'm looking at the torque wrench. It honestly feels pretty wedged, but you could... What
we could do is, once we release that rep that's on the handrail, you can stretch it across the top to the there's a D-ring on the top.
Yeah.
There's also that handle that we use.
This rep right here?
Yep.
Somebody just give it to you. You've got 3 reps down, right?
Well, the hook's on your side. I can't reach that hook from here. I think if we snug that a little bit. So remember how we had that left strap over the top?
Mm-hmm.
If you can get that left strap back over, or if I can after you move, that will keep the torque wrench in. Which strap was that?
Right here, I'm pointing to it.
Okay, where's it hooked to?
It's hooked to that loop that the wire tie goes through.
Oh, so is that helping?
No, you can unhook it and get it over the top.
Okay, so the top would be toward you, right there where your left hand is.
All right, I'll just wait until we balance out.
All good. I think that should keep the torque wrench in and we'll be good.
If you have bandwidth to loosen it, and it'll make it easier for me when I have to admit, but maybe you can't reach it.
Stephanie, and we're kind of holding right here. Would you like me to get started on the APFR relocate while Anil's waiting?
Yes, we are ready for that. 20 seconds to a handover.
APFR is going to 29.
Concur clocking of 6.
Communications with NASA astronaut Jessica Meir with the teams on the ground in Mission Control Houston in the International Space Station Flight Control Room, as we are now experiencing a communications handover between satellites, and we'll return to communications and visuals from the International Space Station here momentarily. We are now 5 hours and 32 minutes into today's spacewalk, US EV-896, which has been successful up until this point, in which both Jessica Meir and Anil Menon have completed the construction of the hardware of a modification kit that has been attached to the 3B mast canister on the far outskirts of the starboard side of the International Space Station, and that mast canister supporting an IROSA mounting bracket that will later hold on to an IROSA itself, an International Space Station rollout solar array, and that will hold that and be unfurled at a later EVA. They have since covered up all the cabling and routed a lot of cabling, the MLI, the multi-layer insulation, protecting all of the new hardware that they have just installed. And now working through their cleanup procedures, they just took the strut bag, which was at the time of the start of the EVA, 8 foot long, and has since been broken down and condensed, so much so that it can be folded into the
cable bag. They did a quick inventory of the tools inside of that cable bag and are now making their way to the next steps of their cleanup process, which Jessica Meir just mentioned that she will be a part of the APFR relocation. Well, that is the articulating portable foot restraint that has been used throughout today's spacewalk. And there you see a great view of it as we reestablish communication with the International Space Station, and that functions as a standing plate that the crew members can snap their boots into to lock themselves into place and provide a hands-free, stable position for complex tasks like today, being able to use that foot plate to leverage body position in the construction of that modification kit.
And for EV1, EV2, we're just waiting a couple more minutes for additional data passes.
Copy.
One. I'm at the APFR, and I'm going to got that out at Stephanie. I'm going to work on releasing it.
Copy.
So, with the relocation of the APFR, Jessica Meir, whose cameras we are seeing live from now, she just disconnected. So, with the relocation of the APFR, Jessica Meir, whose cameras we are seeing live from now, she just disconnected that APFR from the WIFX, and again, used in today's spacewalk to help extend the worksite space and reach of NASA astronaut Anil Menon, as they were constructing the 6 struts and mounting bracket, for the future IROSA rollout solar array, that is, on the 3B power channel. So right now, after the APFR, again, articulating portable foot restraint relocation, the WIFX worksite interface extender next up on Jessica Meir's task list.
Stephanie, I think this is in hockey, what they call the penalty box.
And copy that. And we are just taking an additional look at your CO2 data. It's looking in a way odd to us, and so we just want to make sure we have good data and we're interpreting it correctly.
No worries. I was just joking, of course. If you need any, symptomatology, I feel fine from a medical perspective, doctor.
And we copy. That's good information. Thank you. APFR and WIF 29, clocking of 6. Rest of the settings, Fox 12.
Copy. The APFR is in WIF 29, a clocking of 6. I've got a good pull twist test, black on black.
Copy, black on black, good pull twist.
Can you give me the rest of those settings again, please?
Yes, absolutely. It's triple foxtrot, Fox 12.
Okay.
break. Warning, TM says CO2 sensor bad.
Copy EV2, CO2 sensor bad.
All switches towards me, gauge is the green.
Copy all switches towards you, and say again, suit pressure reading from the gauge and a HAP check.
It's in the green, HAP is dry.
In the green, HAP dry.
4.2.
Copy 4.2.
Take a look at your cuff checklist while we're doing this, Anil. I can walk you through it.
Yep. I will let ID walk you through it, actually, like we planned.
Yes, and we are checking the steps, and with that, periodically monitor physical condition with the CO2 sensor failed.
Page 26, and I'll monitor physical conditions, understand it's just a sensor issue.
Good readback and good page 26.
I have the APFR in 12 Fox 12, so it is all set. Good full twist test, black on black. Would you like me to get the WIFX to expedite getting in, or pause here?
No water or symptoms.
Copy.
Yes, Jessica, we would like you to pick up the WIFX for the rest of this EVA. For Anil, for EV2, we would like you to retrieve the cable bag. We would like you to translate in towards the airlock. And per the cuff checklist for CO2 sensor bad, continue to monitor your symptoms.
I'm going to pick up that cable bag and I'm going to go indoors.
It's a good readback. Jessica, additional checks for the APFR. Can you verify ingress aid stowed low profile against the boot plate?
Affirm.
Thank you.
Five hours and 42 minutes into today's spacewalk. Communications radioed up from the ground here at NASA's Mission Control Center in the International Space Station Flight Control Room as Jessica Meir and Anil Menon winding down US Spacewalk 96 for Meir, wrapping up the relocation of the articulating portable foot restraint and the WIFX, the worksite interface extender. As for Anil Menon, going over his CO2 gauges, and he will begin making his way back to the Quest airlock. He will bring the cable bag in tow, which recently just had the
pitch knob on that APFR. It seemed to go in nominally when I returned it to the lock position at Foxtrot. It took some extra pressure to get it all the way to lock. It is all the way in lock, but it was a little bit sticky in that very last mode.
And we copy. Thanks for the information.
And again, that communication from NASA astronaut Jessica Meir as she continues to wrap up and clean up today's spacewalk activities, as her and NASA astronaut Anil Menon have completed the build out of a modification kit to the 3B mast canister on the far starboard side of the International Space Station that will support the rollout of an IROSA, an International Space Station rollout solar array.
Jessica, while you're placing the WIFX on your BRT, we have an inspection that we would like you to perform as you are translating inboard. With the bundle of joys that both of you guys had going in, it's possible that the strut bag could have contacted the 1A BGA on the way to the work site. We would like you to inspect the 1A mod kit on your way back inboard.
Copy. On A, so give me the location of that. That's what again? There's the next one over from here. You can see it right now. 1 bay over.
And it's S4, same side as 3 Bravo, and it's the lower struts to the mass canister that we're interested in.
Copy.
And some additional instruction given to astronaut Jessica Meir to take a quick look at the 1A mast canister. And she will translate or transition back towards the Quest airlock and actually move past that 1A mast canister to allow for additional inspection. Meanwhile, her partner in this EVA today, astronaut Anil Menon, is wrapping up his day, bringing the cable bag, which has the strut bag inside, with him, and is making his return towards the Quest airlock. We have just crossed over 5 hours and 45 minutes in today's spacewalk.
I'm feeling great. Another day in paradise.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Thank you.
All right, cable bag is up. It's on the DRT, and I'm headed in.
And stand by 1.
Copy all?
And now I just want to make sure I can get this whiff back up. DRT slipped a bit down, so a little bit out of my reach. But if I turn, I might be able to get it. But I'll make sure I can before leave.
Good call. You want me to start coming outboard?
I think I got it. Stand by 1.
Got a good visual on it.
I've got it now.
Okay. Nice job. Your waist tether?
I see it, yeah.
Yeah. You can pick it up. Oh, there you go. Good, Stephanie. Cap's dry.
Copy dry, happen, feeling good.
Jessica, you want me to start heading in?
I'm good, yeah. Go for it. Right behind you. Stephanie, I'm going to pick up my green hook.
That's affirmed. We'd like you to pick it up en route, handrail 2042. Plan is still for you to install the WIF X into the port Zeta cart WIF 2.
Stephanie, I've got my green hook back on my red reel. Ready to come in.
Copy green hook on red reel, and a friendly reminder about the inspection of the 1A mass canister.
See, 1A. And so, like, sure that we're clear, the mass canister on the same side as this or the opposite side?
It is on the same side.
Okay, copy.
Good, Stephanie. Dry out.
Copy dry, feeling good.
I believe I'm there, Stephanie. This is what I'm looking at, correct? See two lower struts?
Yes, we're interested in the, the lower side, lower struts left side.
That's lower strut. It is in place. I don't see anything off nominal.
Copy, yep. Anything obvious? That's what we're looking for.
It looks exactly the same as the right side. I see the cables, see the wire ties. Nothing off nominal.
Copy the report, checking.
Right underneath it now so I can get an even closer look. Have a hand on it that's not moving at all. I can see all the bolts. Pause here right now until you give me a go.
Yes, and we just got the final words. You are go. Thank you for the report and for the verbal. We see you en route to the port CETA cart with 2 for the WIFX install.
Approaching 5 hours and 55 minutes of today's spacewalk outside of the International Space Station, US Spacewalk 96, featuring NASA astronaut and Space Station Commander Jessica Meir and astronaut Anil Menon. You see Menon in the upper center portion of your screen as he is making his way from the work site, the 3B mast canister, which is on the far starboard side of the International Space Station. So those two had quite the journey to get out to the work site today, going all the way to that, again, far end of the starboard portion of the truss structure. They are making their way back to the Quest airlock today after completing their tasks, installing all 6 struts and an IROSA mounting bracket that'll support the installation of an IROSA, the International Space Station Rollout Solar Array, to provide additional power to the orbiting laboratory. So as they continue to make their way towards the Quest airlock, they had Jessica Meir make a quick pit stop over to the 1A mast canister, the next one over from their worksite today, just for additional inspections. And now the two of them making their way back home as we close in on what's going to be 6 hours of today's spacewalk.
In big picture, Stephanie, are we going to be going straight back to the airlock with the cable bag?
And that's affirmed. We'd like Anil to head back with the cable bag. We'll have you stow the WIFX on the port CETA cart. We are forgoing the APFR work at ESP2 for today. And after you stow the WIFX, we'll have you perform the slingshot cleanup.
I'm under the starboard cart now. I see our others.
I'm under the port. I'm just clearing it now.
Copy EV1, EV2.
Closing in on a 6-hour EVA, extravehicular activity today. Spacewalk, US Spacewalk 96 for NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon as we follow along their journey from the 3B mast canister that is on the far end of the starboard side of the truss, the International Space Station, the backbone support structure. And there you can see them making their way back down that truss and heading towards the Quest airlock, which is located right in the center of your screen, as we have now officially passed the 6-hour mark of today's spacewalk.
Copy WIF 2. WIF-X installs with a clocking of 12. Remaining settings, Golf 1.
Golf 1.
See the spur descending.
Copy EV2.
And as mentioned in the center of your view, the Quest airlock, where you can see off in the distance NASA astronaut Anil Menon making his way towards that hatch to head back inside. You also see the cargo spacecraft at the top of your screen, the Northrop Grumman Commercial Resupply Services Mission NG-24 cargo spacecraft. And slowly but surely making her way into the field of view off the left is NASA astronaut Jessica Meir joining Menon today on today's spacewalk as EV1, Menon EV2. Meir with the red spacesuit with the stripes.
I've got a clocking of 2. Do you want me to get it back to 12? Or do you lock in?
Clocking of 2 is good.
Okay, and then what were the other settings?
Other settings, Golf.
Twist test.
Copy good pull twist. Check locking color black on black. Remaining settings, Golf 1.
On black, and I'll set Golf 1.
Not the circular handrail, half dry. Feeling good.
Copy half dry, feeling good at the circular handrail.
1 copy.
Need to open the thermal cover and start getting the bag in.
That's affirmed. You have a go to open the hatch thermal cover.
And that is Anil Menon that has made his way back to the Quest airlock and has opened up the thermal cover. Hot on this trail is Jessica Meir, who just put away the articulating portable foot restraint, as well as the WIF-X, 2 tools used to help in today's spacewalk. And once those are secure, she will also continue her journey on to return to the Quest airlock. Just over 6 hours into today's spacewalk.
And Jessica and Stephanie, I'm at the hatch. I've got the airlock waist there. On my right D-ring extender, closed lock, black on black. The small hook is on the airlock D-ring extender, closed lock, black on black. So we have a good load path now.
Copy that.
Houston concurs.
Just to confirm, Stephanie, are you okay if I put the cable bag in there now?
Yes. We are okay with that. That's a good plan.
NASA astronaut Anil Menon continuing his procedures to re-enter the Quest airlock with the cable bag.
Then I will release his.
EV choose anchor hook first.
Oh, copy up.
So you'll release the EV choose anchor hook
first.
Yes.
Like a good load pass too, so that's a great idea.
We copy and concur.
Anil Menon, NASA astronaut, continuing to work to re-enter the International Space Station and the Quest airlock. The thermal hatch cover is open. He has the cable bag just off to his left-hand side, working those procedures to return to where his spacewalk would begin a little more than 6 hours and 6 minutes ago. Astronaut Jessica Meir, who off-screen will be making her way back towards the Quest airlock and begin re-entry and repressurization procedures shortly thereafter. And now taking a look, Menon has now brought back in that cable bag and will make his way into the crew lock here momentarily.
My anchor hook is back on my workstation.
Copy. Before you depart the seat cart, hit the brakes, starboard and port seat cart brakes 2 times. 1 minute to a handover.
Seat brakes. Pumps on the starboard seat cart.
Copy. 2 pumps, starboard seat cart.
Currently experiencing a handover in communication satellites and loss of views outside of the International Space Station.
Double check HECA green light off.
So we bring you back inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room as Flight Director Ronak Dave and the Momentum Flight Team overseeing these final few moments of today's spacewalk as we have eclipsed 6 hours and 8 minutes of US Spacewalk 98. Stephanie Wilson, NASA astronaut, has been guiding astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon, who have been outside of the International Space Station during that time, performing key tasks to construct a modification kit.
We may have missed the last 30 seconds or so of transmissions.
I just gave you 2 pumps on the starboard, and I'm at the port now, so I'll do that in just a moment.
Copy. Thanks for the report.
So again, the team here on the ground inside Mission Control Houston, continuing to monitor the return of astronauts Anil Menon, who has, last we saw, will be returning back inside the Quest airlock. And we'll get those live views here momentarily as we check in now on astronaut Jessica Meir with the red stripes. That's how we know it's her on the pant leg of her spacesuit.
Double check HECA green light off.
Light off.
Copy. Green light off. And EV1, we see you en route to the airlock.
Sure. proceed as first.
Houston copies.
Views outside of the International Space Station as we cross 6 hours and 11 minutes in support of the 281st spacewalk of International Space Station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. NASA astronaut Anil Menon has made his way back towards the Quest airlock.
Hi, Anil, I'm here.
Great. The airlock is clear. There's no SDUs in the way. The cable bag is in the location we briefed. It should be out of the way. Now, keep it a little more towards me even.
I see your feet right in the middle of the hatch, so I'm going to come in. I'm going to get my end effector on the cover.
For EV1, turn HECA off before ingress.
Come on, HECA's off.
Copy.
Leave it where it is.
NASA astronaut EV1 and International Space Station Commander Jessica Meir has arrived to the Quest airlock. There you can see her feet just above the thermal cover of the airlock's hatchway.
Thermal cover. They come up just like we talked about. See your feet. Let you know if I need you to move them.
Coming in. Okay. Surface is clear. Your feet.
I'm going to come up a little more and get my feet back.
I'm going to cover it, see it closing. Your feet are by the OSCA. Perfect position. Put them straight back. Okay.
I think there's something behind me.
Your feet are on the UIA.
Yeah, it's not my feet, it's my breast.
Okay. I'm looking. Clear.
Okay. Thermal cover's closed. I'll get the strap.
Copy, thermal cover closed. Working the strap until snug, confirming 6 lines visible, and engage the magnet, verify the magnet is engaged.
All right.
And as we see just outside of the Quest airlock, that thermal cover being pulled back behind NASA astronaut Jessica Meir, now joining Anil Menon inside of the crew lock.
Stephanie, I see 6 lines, and the magnet is engaged.
Copy, 6 lines, magnet is engaged. For both EV1 and EV2, remove the SCU from the pouch.
Work. You removed.
Copy. Both EV1, EV2 have SCUs removed from the pouch. Remove DCM cover, Velcro to DCM. Connect SCU to DCM. Check SCU locked.
What? Is it work?
And with that communication from Stephanie Wilson on the ground in Mission Control in Houston, we now return inside of the Quest airlock, where we see NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway on the left and ESA astronaut Sophie Adno anxiously awaiting their return of their friends and crewmates as they have returned inside the Quest airlock. You heard them with a couple different acronyms relating to reconnecting their spacesuits back to the space station. And Sophie will take the opportunity to appear through the window and monitor her friends and colleagues and snap a few photos as we will monitor.
For EV2, I'll take a moment to give you some additional words given the CO2 bad sensor. As we repress, and we'll do a nominal repress, you may have some additional water inside your suit that may affect water on your comm cap that may affect your comm. You might lose comm. While we're expecting a nominal recess, we have apprised the IV team of doing the potential for an expedited repress and expedited suit doffing if needed.
2 copies all.
We return inside the Quest airlock and the equipment lock as NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway and Sophie Adno.
Copy. EV1, SCU locked. There's a note about TVC settings, a TCV setting of 8 to max cold, minimizes time for SCU cooling. Next.
EV1.
Next, take your water switches to off, OFF, the forward position. Expect water off. Water is off message.
EV1, water off. Expected message.
V2, water off, expected message.
Copy. 1 caution, do not close hatch until EMU water is off for 2 minutes.
1. And Stephanie, we've got a few words. On this day in 2012, NASA's robotic rover Curiosity successfully landed on the surface of Mars. The goal of understanding if the planet could have fostered life. Curiosity achieved that goal within a year, and it discovered that ancient Mars possessed all of the key chemical ingredients and stable water environments to support microbial life. One day humans will visit Curiosity, propelled by the groundbreaking science, technology demonstrations, and operations conducted here on the International Space Station, almost 26 years now. Today we made one more step toward expanding the ISS power system, further sustaining our human presence in low Earth orbit as we prepare to take those next steps. Speaking of water on Mars, this also happens to be International Scuba Diving Day, so Anil and I wanted to give a huge shout out to the divers who helped train us for this mission. Today I also had the added privilege of escorting a first-time spacewalker out the hatch once again. Congratulations to my friend and colleague Anil Menon on completing his first spacewalk. Welcome to the club, Anil. Excellent work out there. I'm thrilled to see the 5 swarming both inside and outside the ISS these days. Over to you.
Thank you, Jessica, for passing on your knowledge and experience from 6 spacewalks. The entire experience has taught me that a smooth AVA is entirely about the team. Thank you to our exceptional team on the ground, including first-timers like Stephen Villano, and to Jack and Sophie for their attention to detail in ensuring our safe return. Happy birthday, Christy Ray. This spacewalk is a small part of what we accomplished. Other parts were all of the preparation and getting back safely, so thank you for that.
Over to you, Stephanie. Thanks for being an awesome ground ID.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate the kind words and the great words, and congrats to both of you and to the entire team of Momentum Flight, of having great momentum to work through this last mod kit. You have worked very hard, very expeditiously, with good momentum, and we appreciate your words and your work today for future endeavors.
Stephanie and all down there.
Thank you.
And the 2-minute water time has expired. We would like a double check that the thermal hatch is closed, the thermal cover is closed, prior to verifying the outer hatch clear of hardware and closing the hatch.
Thermal cover is closed. I see the 6 lines. It did pop off on and off the magnet a few times when I was closing it, but it's on there now. I'm not sure if it'll stay there when I close the hatch. It seems to pop off pretty easily, but I do see 6 lines on the strap. I see that the hatch is clear.
We copy. Thanks for the additional report. That's a good config. We're ready for you to verify handle position per the hatch decal and close and lock the hatch.
NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon is sharing words.
Position. Let me get the hatch key.
Water pressure on Anil's suit.
Both Meir and Menon continuing to work through their re-entry procedures back inside the International Space Station after both now inside the crew lock of the Quest airlock, and we are seeing what is on the other side of that hatchway, and you can actually see the NASA logo through that window just for a brief moment as Sophie Adno of the European Space Agency and Jack Hathaway of NASA anxiously await for their safe return of their friends. Today's spacewalk clock continuing to motor on along, now 6 hours and 23 minutes.
I'm taking a look. I'm behind you, please.
Looks like something on the left side.
The cable bag is out of the way. How now?
That's better. It's just coming down.
Good job.
I see the hatch is clear. I'm going to go ahead and latch. Is fully to latch, and I'm going to lock it. Close and lock.
Copy hatch closed and latched. We are in pre-repress. On your DCMs, check SCU connected to DCM.
SCU is connected, EV1.
EV2 is connected.
Check water switch off for 2 minutes.
Confirmed.
Check EV hatch closed and locked.
Confirmed. Hatch closed and locked.
On the UIA, check oxygen EMU 1 and 2, 2 valves and open.
Oxygen EMU 1, EMU 2, open, both.
Copy. Take power, EV1, EV2, 2 switches to on.
Switches on, I see 2 lights.
Copy. 2 LEDs on. Check power, EV1, EV2 volts between 18 and 19.
EV1 18.8, EV2 18.6.
Copy. 18.8 and 18.6 EV1 and EV2 volts. On your DCMs, take power to SCU. EV expected warning tone.
On SCU?
EV2, SCU.
Copy all. That completes a pre-repress. Thanks again for your great work today. You both are rock stars. I'm handing you over to Jack and Sophie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Stephanie, we think you're the rock star, and we got them for the rest of the way. Thanks for years and all the team that worked down there. You guys are the best.
Thank you.
You know, before we get started, we think we saw your helmet purge valve unlocked, and we think you want to lock that before we get into the press.
Locked. It's locked.
Great. Thanks for double checking that for us. So for EV1 and EV2, take your O2 actuators to press.
One press.
Two, press.
All right, nice work, guys. EV1, check the EV hatch MPET is closed.
MPET is closed.
All right, we are going to take the IV hatch equalization valve to start repressing you. That should get an alert tone.
Please.
And with repressurization of the crew lock now underway, that'll officially mark the end of today's spacewalk. It would come to a close just a minute ago at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, with today's spacewalk lasting a total of 6 hours and 27 minutes as both NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon would depart the space station and build out a modification kit for the 3B mast canister to attach it to in preparation for a future International Space Station rollout solar array to provide additional power to the orbiting laboratory. So again, today's spacewalk lasting 6 hours and 27 minutes, and it would come to a close right at the top of the hour, 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will monitor the repressurization of the crew lock. That is on the other side of that hatchway you see right now, where Sophie Adno of ESA and Jack Hathaway of NASA are currently monitoring. They are closely approaching from bringing the lock up from vacuum to now about 1 pound per square inch. Of course, they want that to climb all the way up to about what it is at sea level, about 14.5 pounds per square inch. So a little ways to go, but we'll continue to follow along. inside the Quest airlock of the International Space Station. NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway and ESA astronaut Sophie Adno continuing to monitor the climbing pressure inside of the crew lock of the Quest airlock. Approaching now about 2 pounds per square inch, part of the repressurization at the conclusion of today's spacewalk with NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon.
Increasing through 2 PSI.
81.
And that milestone right there, passing 2 PSI, pounds per square inch inside of that lock. They want to get that to match where they are currently operating, which is sitting at about 14.5 pounds per square inch. Today's spacewalk, the 281st in support of the International Space Station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. Lasted 6 hours and 27 minutes and came to a close just 5 minutes ago at 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, as both Meir and Menon would complete the construction from start to finish of 6 struts and a mounting bracket attaching to the 3B mast canister that will support an IROSA, an International Space Station rollout solar array to increase power availability to the orbiting laboratory.
Three and a half PSI at 4. You guys are going to get an alert turn.
V1.
2.
As we continue to follow along with the repressurization of the crew lock and numbers, that's timeline has just come to a close right now at 2 p.m. Central Time, 6 hours and 27 minutes. So for US Spacewalk 96, by the numbers, today was the 281st spacewalk in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades.
We're going to pause at 5.
And with that update, Jack Hathaway relaying that they will pause at 5 PSI and continue their safety and equipment checks, making sure everything is okay before continuing on with the repressurization. But taking a look even closer at the numbers, it is the 4th spacewalk out of the station this year in 2026. In fact, Jessica Meir has now participated in 3 of those 4 spacewalks and is the first spacewalk of Expedition 75. In total for Jessica Meir, it is the 6th spacewalk of her career, now upping her career total to 42 hours and 33 minutes. And for Anil Menon, this was his very first venture out into outer space, and this is his sixth. His total is today's total of the EVA of 6 hours and 27 minutes. In total, of the 281 spacewalks in support of ISS, or International Space Station assembly and maintenance and upgrades, it is equal to 74 days, 4 hours, and 21 minutes of spacewalking time. And again, we continue to follow along with the repressurization of the crew lock, now up to 4.90 pounds per square inch. And we heard the communications to Jack Hathaway that they will pause at the 5 pound per square inch mark and go over all system checks, make sure everything is okay.
PSI. We're going to sit here for 2 minutes and wait for the crew lock pressure to stabilize.
1, 2.
So you heard there, waiting for the pressure to stabilize inside of the crew lock. So they will pause for a couple of moments just to give the space some time before continuing on with repressurization. Again, also, in addition to that, by the numbers, this is the first of what is going to be a busy month of spacewalks outside of the International Space Station. The next one coming up right around the corner, a week from today, Thursday, August 13th, US Spacewalk 97, in which 2 astronauts will venture out into the vacuum of space to replace a communication antenna on the space station called the space-to-ground antenna, critical communication system for the space station and used by NASA to transmit data. And the antenna enables high-speed communications between Mission Control here in Houston and the orbiting laboratory. And flying in to join Jack Hathaway and Sophie Adno, that is Roscosmos cosmonaut Anna Kikina, who flew up with Anil Menon, her crewmate on Soyuz MS-29, and taking some photos with her crewmates coming in to check on Anil and Jessica and the Expedition 75 crew for Anna Kikina. This is her second flight to the space station, as she was a part of Crew 5. And also coming in to join in, that is Pyotr Dubrov, the commander of the Soyuz MS-29 mission, that also was a part of Anil Menon's very first launch and flight to the International Space Station, and posing for a nice photo together, both him and Kikina, with Sophie Adno and Jack Hathaway. Certainly a prideful moment for that group, that trio that, again, launched to the space station only a few days ago.
For a crew lock leak check.
1, 2.
And again, the team continuing to monitor along with the repressurization of the crew lock that has been paused at 5 psi to allow the space to settle. And they will continue with safety checks throughout the entire process. And they will remain paused here for a few more moments before continuing on with the repressurization, as more smiles and photos within the equipment lock, which they will enter here momentarily.
That's a successful leak check. We're on to step 8. You guys can take your glove heaters to off. Yeah.
Choose off.
Right, and for 1 and 2, do you guys have any contamination on your gloves?
Just the small black smudges we reported earlier during the check, same that you've seen before.
That'd be small black smudges. All right, for EV1 and EV2, take your O2 actuator to IV.
EV1 IV.
Choose IV.
Then we are going to continue the repress.
So under the guidance of NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway, continuing their checks, and you heard the good leak checks as well, as we will continue on with the repressurization of the crew lock, now moving off of 5 psi and now climbing. The crew lock now at 6 psi and continuing to move north as the repressurization of that crew lock continuing to be monitored by Jack Hathaway and Sophie Adno, as well as the teams on the ground here at Mission Control and the International Space Station Flight Control Room. NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon have successfully completed their EVA, their spacewalk today, wrapping up at 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, for a total of 6 hours and 27 minutes today. They would go out the door of the Quest airlock at 7:33 a.m. Central to begin this spacewalk. They would construct 6 struts as well as an IROSA mounting bracket to the 3B mast canister all the way on the starboard side, the far end of the starboard side of the International Space Station. And that will support the installation of a future International Space Station rollout solar array that will provide additional power resources to the orbiting laboratory. Now 6.84 pounds per square inch inside that crew lock. They want to bring it up to about sea level and equal to what's in the equipment lock. That is where Hathaway and Adno currently are residing, all a part of the Quest airlock, and that PSI at about 14.5. So we have just passed the 7 PSI mark, so just past we're coming up on the halfway point of repressurization. And back inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room here in Houston, Texas at NASA's Johnson Space Center Mission Control, as we are in a handover with communications satellites. And we will bring you back inside the International Space Station here momentarily and continue to monitor the progress of repressurization. And again, today's spacewalk, US Spacewalk 96, closing out at 6 hours and 27 minutes for NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon, the 281st in support of the Space Station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. As we return to live video inside the Quest airlock, as the pounds per square inch now at 8.25 and continuing to climb, bringing the crew lock, which is what is on the other side of that hatchway and where Meir and Menon currently reside. They will bring that up to equal to the pressure inside the International Space Station, up from vacuum. And once brought up to the Same pressure inside of the International Space Station. They'll continue to perform safety checks, leak checks all throughout the procedure. And then once that is complete, we'll see that hatchway in which Sophie Adno has that right hand on it ready to go. Will open back up and they will formally welcome Meir and Menon back inside the International Space Station. Pressure inside the crew lock has just surpassed 10 pounds per square inch and continuing to climb up, again looking to equalize what is inside the rest of the International Space Station, approximately 14.5 pounds per square inch.
PSI and climbing.
Антон, добрый вечер. Да, ну, можно 20-30 минут записать там. В принципе, немного времени это заняло.
Yes, Andre.
I'm sorry.
I thought that was Jack's question.
Astronaut Jack Hathaway, Sophie Adno, and cosmonaut Anna Kikina continuing to monitor along with the repressurization of the crew lock getting closer. Now 11.35 pounds per square inch, looking to get up to 14.5 after completing what was US Spacewalk 96, a total of 6 hours and 27 minutes. It wrapped up 23 minutes ago at 2 o'clock, top of the hour, Central Time, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. It would have formally begun at 7:33 a.m. Central as NASA astronauts Anil, Menon and Jessica Meir would make their way out of the Quest airlock after dropping from 14.5 down to vacuum and would begin their spacewalking task, which included the assembly and attachment of 6 struts and a mounting bracket that will all support a future installation of an International Space Station rollout solar array to provide additional power capabilities to the orbiting laboratory. And they were able to accomplish that just shy of 6.5 hours and are now back inside the crew lock and are getting closer to rejoining their Expedition 75 crewmates, now standing at 12.36 pounds per square inch and climbing. Just about 1 more pound per square inch to go at 13.5 and climbing inside that crew lock that currently has NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Anil Menon inside. Jack Hathaway on the left-hand side, continuing to follow along with the numbers and the status that we are following here in the International Space Station Flight Control Room and Mission Control in Houston. Roscosmos Cosmonaut Anna Kikina floating to the left side of your view, and Sophie Adno of ESA supporting the return festivities of the 2 NASA astronauts. We saw Pyotr Dubrov earlier. Both Menon, Dubrov, and Kikina all flying together. They launched just 22 days ago aboard Soyuz MS-29 from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. We have reached 14.42 pounds per square inch, and Sophie Adno starting to turn the hatchway to open it up as the pressurized portions have cinched matched each other from the crew lock to the equipment lock.
Houston airlock, the IV hatch is open. You guys have to go for step 4. We copy that.
And with that, we see the hatch opening and the return of Jessica Meir and Anil Menon back to their Expedition 75 crewmates. First one through the hatchway is NASA astronaut Anil Menon, who arrived and returned to the Quest airlock first. Jessica Meir will shortly join him as Jack Hathaway and Sophie Adno positioning Menon's spacesuit. And want to make sure they get him upright, and they will reconnect him as we see a nice little wave from the first-time spacewalker. And all smiles for Anil Menon as he returns back to the equipment lock. So as Anil Menon is getting positioned properly inside of the equipment lock, you see Sophie Adno now with the safer, that is the simplified aid for EVA rescue, in which she and Hathaway would put on the backside of both Menon and Meir earlier in the day. And you saw Anil Menon on the left-hand side now, firmly secured to the side of the equipment lock, with Jack Hathaway at his side. Sophie Adno taking the safer from Menon and removing it from that equipment lock. And now Hathaway has entered the crew lock and will go into support now Jessica Meir in her return back inside the equipment area of the Quest airlock. And now Jessica Meir has returned to the equipment lock, and Sophie Adno and Jack Hathaway removing her safer, the simplified aid for EVA rescue, in which Adno will take and move into the International Space Station. And for Jessica Meir, with the aid of Jack Hathaway, will be attached to the side of the equipment lock. And you see a wonderful exchange between Meir and Menon as their spacewalk has come to a close at 6 hours and 27 minutes. It wrapped up about 33 minutes ago at 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. photos and live views inside the equipment lock of the Quest airlock of the International Space Station as the Expedition 75 crew welcoming back in their crewmates, Anil Menon on the left-hand side, Jessica Meir on the right, after completing US Spacewalk number 96 today at 6 hours and 27 minutes, completing a full construction build-out of the 3B modification kit attached to the 3B canister at the very end of the starboard side of the International Space Station. And that will be in support of a future EVA in which an IROSA, International Space Station Rollout Solar Array, will be installed to help supply additional power to the orbiting laboratory. And we'll continue to follow along with the return of Meir and Menon and carry you through the removal of their helmets and their, again, safe return back inside the International Space Station. Of course, this spacewalk, the 281st in support of the International Space Station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. And this one, US Spacewalk 96, the first of 3 in the month of August. And we'll take a look at the next one coming up, which will be a week from today, Thursday, August 13th for US Spacewalk 97, and then further down the line, US Spacewalk 98 as well. NASA astronauts Jack Hathaway and ESA astronaut Sophie Adno continuing to work through the return procedures for Anil Menon on the left-hand side in his spacewalking spacesuit, and Jessica Meir on the right-hand side. Menon with the gloves off his hands, and Hathaway has lifted off the helmet for Menon after he just recently completed his very first spacewalk. For Jessica Meir on the right-hand side, similar procedure for her. She just wrapped up her 6th spacewalk of her career. For Meir, over those 6 spacewalks, 42 hours and 33 minutes. And of course, for Anil Menon, it is his first. His career totals matching today's spacewalk at 6 hours and 27 minutes. So with these helmets off, we can now take a look ahead at what's to come for spacewalks and activities surrounding the orbiting laboratory. And again, we mentioned that this is going to be a busy time for the International Space Station as US Spacewalk 97 just right around the corner a week from today. Coverage will begin at 7:35 a.m. Central, or coverage will begin at 6 a.m. Central Time, 7 a.m. Eastern, with that EVA approximately getting underway around 7:35 a.m. Central, 8:35 a.m. Eastern. And of course, you can watch all of that right here on NASA Plus, the national social channels. And for the latest updates, visit along with nasa.gov. So a successful US Spacewalk number 96 with the construction of the 3B modification kit to the 3B mass canister, and awaiting the arrival of the IROSAs that will support and bring additional power supply and availability to the orbiting laboratory. Well, that'll do it for our live coverage for today, as Anil, Menon, and Jessica Meir have safely returned back inside the International Space Station. Their helmets and gloves now coming off, and they will get situated back again as another spacewalk right around the corner again on Thursday, August 13th. Special thanks to the team and my colleague joining me on console today for timely updates and NASA Communications is Ken Appel. That'll do it for US Spacewalk number 96. Thank you for tuning in. This is Mission Control Houston.